From the Lineweaver Wealth Watch Center, this is the Financial Quarterback.
I'm Jim Lineweaver, your financial quarterback since 1993. There's been a new law passed in Ohio that can impact every marriage. This new law allows what is commonly called a postnuptial agreement. So here to discuss this with us is Mike Solomon. He's an attorney and partner with Solomon, Steiner Peck. So Mike, tell us about this postnuptial agreement and why it's so important.
Oh, before I do that, I want to talk about what's called a prenuptial agreement. That's an agreement prior to marriage. The soon-to-be husband and wife enter an agreement to decide how the assets will be distributed if there's a divorce or on death. It's a very important document.
So when we look at this, Ohio's really been behind the times compared to a lot of other states.
Right. Ohio is one of only two states. Iowa and Ohio are the only states that didn't allow postnuptial agreements. Now with a postnuptial agreement, you can enter an agreement modifying your prenup, amending your prenup, terminating it, or even starting a whole new agreement on how to divide assets on divorce or death post-marriage, getting married.
So let's say you've been married for 20 years. So why at this point would you ask your spouse to sign a postnuptial agreement? It seems a little late.
Yeah, it's a good question. So let's say when they both got married, they were around the same financial situation, and they entered into a prenuptial agreement that said what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours. Now they get married, they have 3 children. The wife, let's say, stays at home, takes care of the kids. Her business enterprise goes by the wayside. The husband builds up his assets, and the wife might want a part of those assets if something bad happens.
Yeah, because if you didn't have the prenup, that's what really would take place anyhow, right?
Right, that's right.
Yeah, so in that case, a postnuptial agreement could provide that she share in the growth of the assets, and that seems fair to me. But what's the second criteria?
Okay, many times, let's say there's a family business. So the parents, mom and dad, want to give their daughter some of the family business, but they don't want those assets grabbed in a divorce. So they don't have the wife doesn't have a prenuptial agreement. She gets a postnuptial agreement that says the family business shares I'm receiving from mom and dad. Husband, you don't get any of that, and protects the business assets.
And is this something that somebody can just do on their own, or do they need to get attorneys involved?
Worse, they need 2 attorneys. The husband and wife each need their own attorney. That's number one. And the attorneys really need to know what they're doing. They need to know about estate planning and tax planning and business planning if a business is involved.
I know there are a lot of attorneys out there that just specialize in divorces, right?
Right. So you'd want an attorney, as I said already, who's familiar with estate and planning and tax planning, business planning, but you'd want one who's familiar with what happens if there is divorces and what rights people have. This document, this postnuptial agreement, can address all those issues.
But you don't have to deal with somebody that just specializes in divorce.
Yeah, you don't have to do that, and I wouldn't do that. I'd want someone who has a little bit more broad experience.
Okay, great. Oh, great information, Mike. Thanks for bringing us up to speed on this new law. So if you have any questions about a prenup or a postnuptial agreement, give us a call. We'll be happy to help you out with this or your other financial issues. Stay tuned for Fox News Sunday.